Of course. Here's a story about me, Kinger, wandering through the digital circus and finding all my friends, Jax, Gangle, Pomni, Ragatha, and Zooble, in their own little worlds. One sunny day in the digital circus, I strolled around on one of my floating gloves because, yes, floating is very handy for this. The air smelled like pixelated popcorn, or maybe that was just bubble nearby. Either way, first, I spotted Jax. He was pacing back and forth near Kane's office with his arms crossed so tight he might have popped a button off his overalls. His tail kept flicking aggressively behind him like an angry metronome. "You okay?" I asked cautiously. He spun around instantly. "Do I look okay?" Kane said no to adding Sparkle Punch Hour to the daily schedule again. Classic Jack's frustration mode activated, so what did we do? We took deep breaths together while watching Zooble accidentally punch herself in her own face during training again. Somehow she never learns. That always makes... Later, I spotted Gangle in the corner of the room, looking a bit lonely. She was trying to draw a masterpiece. Probably a self-portrait of her own sadness, knowing Gangle. I approached her carefully and asked if she wanted to come hang out and watch Jax and Zooble spar in the ring. She seemed hesitant at first, but eventually agreed. We had loads of fun watching Jax cheat constantly and hearing Zooble's colorful language every time she got kicked in her face. And then I found Ragatha sitting all alone in a quiet corner of the circus tent. She was just staring out into space with a worried expression, so I sat down next to her and put my hand on her shoulder. "What's on your mind?" I asked gently. She looked up at me with a worried expression. I'm afraid," she whispered. I crouched down beside her, matching her eye level. "Afraid? Of what?" I asked softly. Ragatha fidgeted with the edge of her sleeve. "What if I mess up my next performance? What if Kane says it's not good enough and—" Her voice cracked a little. Oh, Ragatha was in worry spiral mode. So what did we do? We grabbed Pomni, who was hiding behind a potted plant because she thought the room was too loud, and took Ragatha to the chill zone near Bubbles' aquarium. We made silly faces at passing fish until Ragatha giggled despite herself, and then we practiced one super easy trick together, tossing scarves into the air like confetti. By sunset, she was smiling again, even if Jax kept yelling from across Kev's about Sparkle Punch rights. Finally, I stumbled across Zooble playing with her little robots in the corner. She seemed pretty focused on her game, but when I asked her if she wanted to take a break and get something to eat, she eagerly agreed. "Sure," she chirped. "I'm in the middle of destroying this high-score record." She grinned as she smashed two of her little robots together. "I'm winning this time." I watched her play for a few minutes. It's hard to look away from robot battles, and then suggested we go to the cafeteria for dinner together. She agreed, and we walked over there together, the robots trailing after her like little robotic ducklings. After dinner, we came back to the game room to find Jax and Gangle fighting over a game of Monopoly. Jax had almost gotten all of the properties already, and Gangle kept landing on go to jail every single turn. Pomni sat with Gangle, and they whispered while Jax laughed gleefully as he bankrupted his opponents. Ragatha even joined in on the fun and landed on go to jail for no reason at all. I still wonder if she's ever played this. Eventually, all of us were just rolling the die and wandering around the board, laughing, singing, and trying to steal money from the bank whenever Jax wasn't looking. It was such a fun night. As everyone went to bed for the night, I sat and watched the stars flicker over the digital circus.
How do I take such perfect selfies with my smartphone? That's it, Touch Retouch app. I use this app to edit my face in a photo in a matter of minutes with the most natural effect. Try it.
I smiled to myself as I watched the quiet circus settle in for the night. The glow of Jax's Sparkle Punch Rights protest sign still flickered near Kane's office. Zooble had passed out on her robot pile. One was gently beeping a lullaby, and Gangle curled up with Ragatha like a ribbon around a candy cane. Pomni? She tiptoed over to me, clutching her stuffed octopus. Kinger, do you ever get scared? She whispered. So what did we do? He grabbed Bubble from his tank, he squeaked, and took Pomni on an impromptu midnight tour of all the least spooky corners. We checked under every table, no monsters. Peeked behind curtains, just dust bunnies. By dawn, she yawned so hard her teeth chattered. But at least they weren't from fear anymore. I smiled softly as Pomni finally dozed off, her octopus plush tucked under one arm. The first light of dawn painted the tent in soft pinks and golds. Such a good time for secret adventures. Bubble wriggled free with a blorping noise, still offended about being dragged around all night, while I gently tucked Pomni's blanket tighter. Ragatha sleepily raised an eyebrow at me from her nest of scarves. Kinger, did you really need to check behind Kane's Do Not Disturb temper tantrum in progress sign? Oops, turns out that wasn't just dust bunnies, but no monsters. Just Jax's half-eaten sandwich and... is that glitter? Oh no, with a yawn, I curled up next to Bubble, who forgave